Flying a helicopter in 2026 costs less than some cars, and that should scare expensive aviation forever. Helicopters always felt untouchable, but ultralight machines are changing aviation fast, and the prices will surprise you. Dios, mosquitose.
Bring it through its paces.
And this is where the illusion finally breaks. At number 10, the Mosquito XE lands with a price tag of around $45,000, and that number alone rewires how people think about helicopters. For decades, helicopters lived in the same mental space as private jets and yachts. Untouchable, million-dollar toys. The Mosquito XE drags that fantasy back to reality and says, no, this is something regular aviation enthusiasts can actually own. People often describe it as the motorcycle of the sky, and once you see it, the comparison makes perfect sense. There's no excess here, no luxury padding, no oversized cabin pretending to be a limousine. It's raw, mechanical, and honest. Just a pilot, the controls, and open sky. Designed in Canada, it carries that rugged, no-nonsense engineering mindset where function always comes before comfort. Performance-wise, it doesn't embarrass itself either. You're looking at a top speed close to 90 miles per hour with a range of around 120 miles. That's more than enough for weekend flying, short hops, and pure stick and rudder enjoyment. And then there's the weight, just 280 pounds empty. That's absurdly light for a helicopter, and that low weight changes everything: handling, fuel burn, and operating costs. Inside the cockpit, the philosophy stays consistent. Bare bones, no distractions, no unnecessary tech clutter. It's designed for pilots who actually want to fly, not babysit screens. And if you're the hands-on type, the Mosquito XE really starts to shine. You can buy it as a kit, build it yourself, and shave even more off the cost. For builders, that's half the fun, knowing every bolt, cable, and component because you put it there yourself. But here's the detail that quietly separates it from much more expensive helicopters. It includes an advanced emergency auto-rotation system, capable of bringing the aircraft down safely even after a complete engine failure. That kind of safety feature usually lives in helicopters, costing 3 times as much. On the Mosquito XE, it's standard thinking, not a luxury upgrade. This helicopter is built for weekend flyers, hobbyists, and pilots who value simplicity over flash. And just when you think $45,000 sounds cheap for a helicopter, the next one somehow costs even less. Number 9. The Revolution Mini 500. Now this is where people usually stop believing the list. Coming in at number 9, the Revolution Mini 500 drops the price again, roughly $42,000. And suddenly we're deep into territory that feels almost wrong for aviation. This is American engineering at its most stubborn and inventive, proving that helicopters don't have to be financial black holes. The Mini 500 cruises around 75 miles per hour and stretches out to about 100 miles of range on a single tank. It uses a single main rotor with a 2-blade setup, keeping the design simple and familiar. Power comes from a Rotax 582 engine pushing about 65 horsepower. Nothing outrageous, just enough to get airborne efficiently and reliably. Fuel efficiency is where this helicopter really messes with expectations. Burning roughly 2.5 gallons per hour, it uses less fuel than many cars do on the highway. That changes the entire ownership conversation. Suddenly, you're not calculating flights in aviation money. You're thinking about everyday fuel costs. But the Mini 500's party trick is something else entirely. Its quick disconnect rotor system allows the main rotor to be removed in under 5 minutes. No tools, no drama. Just pop it off, and you're done. Storage and transport suddenly become non-issues. You could load it up, tow it home, and be packed away faster than most pilots finish their pre-flight checklist. Imagine flying for the afternoon, breaking the helicopter down, and hauling it back without needing a hangar. That's not just convenient, it completely changes how and where you can own a helicopter. And if $42,000 still sounds wild, don't get comfortable, because the next one gets stranger, faster, and even more unconventional. Wait, you're watching right now but not subscribed to the channel. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button so we can move on with the video. You did? Okay, cool. Now back to the video. 8. Helicycle, turbine version. This is where things start to look like science fiction. At number 8, the Helicycle steps in with a price hovering around $39,000, and visually, it barely looks real. Sleek, narrow, and mechanical in a way that feels pulled straight out of a futuristic concept sketch. It doesn't try to look friendly. It looks fast, and it is. What makes the Helicycle truly stand apart is its engine. Unlike most ultralight helicopters that rely on piston power, this one uses a modified Solar T62 turbine engine. Turbine power in this price bracket is almost unheard of. That gives it serious performance for its size, pushing close to 95 miles per hour and delivering the sharp throttle response you normally associate with military aircraft. Then there's the folding rotor system. Instead of needing massive storage space, the rotors fold down, allowing the entire helicopter to fit inside a standard garage. The assembly takes around 30 minutes. In theory, and this is where things get bold, you could fly this thing somewhere, fold it up, and park it like a motorcycle. Brave pilots might even joke about commuting in it. But make no mistake, this isn't a casual weekend kit. Building the Helicycle demands commitment. Around 300 hours of build time is expected, and that's before you ever lift off. It rewards patience and precision. What you get in return is serious technology. A fully digital engine management system constantly adjusts performance based on altitude and temperature, the kind of system usually reserved for military helicopters. It's smart, efficient, and unforgiving if you cut corners. The Helicycle is for builders who want turbine power without turbine pricing. High reward, higher responsibility. And for those who want something a little calmer, a little simpler, the next version flips the script entirely. 7. Eagle Helicycle, piston version. And here's the smarter cousin. The Eagle Helicycle takes everything intimidating about the standard Helicycle and tones it down. Same DNA, different philosophy. Instead of turbine power, it uses a more traditional piston engine, instantly making it cheaper to run, easier to maintain, and far less demanding for first-time builders. Cruising at around 70 miles per hour with a range pushing 120 miles, it's built for cross-country flying rather than adrenaline rushes. This version was designed specifically for people who want to learn, not just build. Buyers get access to a structured training program that walks them through both construction and flight training, removing a lot of the guesswork that scares newcomers away. The modular design is where it really earns its reputation. The entire helicopter can be broken down into components small enough to fit inside a standard pickup truck. No hangar? No problem. From flying machine to trailer cargo in under an hour, the Eagle Helicycle turns helicopter ownership into something flexible and portable. This isn't about showing off turbine wine or chasing top speeds. It's about freedom. Fly when you want, store it where you want, and maintain it without needing specialist tools or endless budgets. For pilots who value practicality over prestige, this helicopter quietly makes a very strong case. And just when you think you've seen how affordable helicopters can get, the next machines push the idea even further. Seishi, the Ultrasport 496. This is where affordability meets common sense. At around $35,000, the Ultrasport 496 doesn't try to impress you with flashy claims. Instead, it wins you over quietly, like something engineered by people who actually fix their own machines. The entire philosophy here is minimalist engineering. Fewer parts, fewer complications, and fewer things that can go wrong when you're miles from the ground. Cruising comfortably at about 80 miles per hour with a range close to 180 miles, it proves you don't need complexity to get solid performance. The modified Rotax engine keeps things familiar and dependable, and the real magic sits above your head. Its semi-rigid rotor system dramatically reduces mechanical complexity compared to traditional designs, which means less maintenance, fewer inspections, and lower long-term costs. It can carry up to 300 pounds, which is impressive for a helicopter this light and affordable. Tools? Nothing exotic. Most routine maintenance can be handled with basic equipment you'd already have in a garage. That's why pilots often call it the Honda Civic of helicopters, not because it's boring, but because it's dependable, efficient, and built to last. One feature that quietly stands out is the quick start system. From a cold start to take off in under 2 minutes. No long warm-ups, no drama. That kind of readiness makes it ideal for emergency use, rapid deployment, or just spontaneous flying when the weather window suddenly opens. And if you think $35,000 is pushing the limit of affordability, the next helicopter somehow goes even lower, without cutting corners where it matters. Peachy, the CH-7 compress. This is the moment most people pause and double-check the price. Starting around $33,000, the CH-7 compress feels almost unfair. Italian-designed, sleek, and unapologetically stylish, it proves that affordability doesn't have to look industrial or unfinished. Everything about it feels deliberate, from the lines of the fuselage to the enclosed cockpit that instantly sets it apart. Performance stays respectable, cruising near 85 miles per hour with a range pushing 200 miles. But the real headline is seating. This is a 2-seat helicopter, side by side, at this price. That's rare territory, especially in the ultralight world where most designs sacrifice passengers to cut costs. Power comes from a Rotax 914 engine delivering around 100 horsepower, giving it enough muscle without blowing up operating expenses. Inside, you'll find modern avionics and a glass cockpit, not stripped-down gauges, but real technology that makes flying cleaner and more intuitive. What really makes the compress special is its patented noise reduction system. It's one of the quietest helicopters in its class, which matters more than people realize. Noise-sensitive areas, urban environments, even just holding a calm conversation mid-flight. This helicopter handles it all gracefully. It's refined without being fragile, modern without being overcomplicated. And just when you think that's as cheap as practical helicopters can get, Africa enters the picture. 4. Safari Kit Helicopter. This one doesn't care about appearances. At around $30,000, the Safari Kit helicopter proudly wears its bare-bones reputation. Designed in South Africa, it was built for survival, not showrooms. Cruising near 70 miles per hour with a range of about 140 miles, it delivers exactly what it promises: reliability in harsh conditions. Power comes from a modified Volkswagen engine, and that choice says everything. Parts are affordable, familiar, and proven across decades of use. The rotor system is simple by design, avoiding unnecessary complexity, so maintenance stays straightforward and cheap. One of Safari's biggest strengths is mobility. The entire helicopter can be disassembled and transported in a small trailer. No hangar dependency, no oversized infrastructure. And unlike many ultralights tested in ideal environments, this one was engineered for real-world punishment. Its dust filtration system was developed specifically for African bush conditions. Sand, dirt, and debris that would ground other helicopters barely slow it down. This is a machine that flies when conditions are ugly, when the environment fights back. Safari isn't flashy. It doesn't try to impress. It simply works. And that honesty makes it one of the most respected kit helicopters ever built. But now, let's rewind history for a moment. Because not all affordable helicopters succeeded the first time. 3. Brantley B-2. Historical entry. This helicopter tried to be early and paid the price. With a price around $100,000, the Brantley B-2 doesn't fit the modern ultralight mold. It was factory-built, not a kit, and only about 330 units were ever sold. First introduced in 1958, it represents one of aviation's earliest attempts to make helicopters accessible to civilians. Originally developed for military use, the B-2 was evaluated by the Army and ultimately rejected. The reasons were clear: operational complexity, underwhelming performance, and safety concerns that limited its appeal outside controlled environments. For civilian pilots, it proved difficult to operate and expensive to maintain. Compared to fixed-wing aircraft of the era, it offered few advantages and many compromises. As a result, widespread adoption never happened. But history still matters. The Brantley B-2 laid the groundwork. It showed engineers what didn't work, and that knowledge directly shaped the smarter, lighter, and safer designs we see today. Compared to modern ultralights, the contrast is striking. Today's helicopters are cheaper, simpler, and dramatically more pilot-friendly. The B-2 may not have succeeded commercially, but it helped aviation learn how to succeed later. And that evolution brings us to a machine that finally got the balance right: the composite FX XE290. This is where modern ultralight design truly clicks. The composite FX XE290 sits in a rare sweet spot. Available around $55,000 as a kit, or roughly $70,000 factory finished, it delivers factory-built credibility without factory-built pricing. Nicknamed the Mosquito for its size, it sacrifices passenger capacity to maximize efficiency. It's a single-seater, yes, but intentionally so. Built using lightweight composite materials, it stays incredibly light while remaining structurally strong. Power comes from a 90-horsepower fuel-injected piston engine, pushing it to about 95 miles per hour with a cruising speed near 80 for roughly 2 hours. Weighing around 390 pounds empty with a maximum gross weight of 720 pounds, it stays comfortably within ultralight limits while still feeling capable. Every engineering decision here focuses on cost savings without compromising safety. This helicopter represents a modern benchmark, proof that factory-built ultralights don't have to be exclusive or overpriced. It's efficient, refined, and purpose-built. But even that isn't the bottom of the price ladder, because the next helicopter breaks every expectation. 1. Skycraft Scout. This one changes everything. At just $22,000, the Skycraft Scout claims the title of the cheapest new helicopter you can buy. Period. Top speed sits around 65 miles per hour, with a range close to 80 miles. Modest numbers, but that's not the point. The Scout was built with one mission: accessibility. It uses a modified motorcycle engine producing about 90 horsepower, prioritizing simplicity and affordability over raw performance. And here's where it truly stands apart: safety. Its control system physically prevents dangerous inputs. You can't overcorrect. You can't accidentally push it beyond safe limits. It's like having an invisible instructor constantly guarding every movement. This isn't about thrill-seeking. It's about confidence. Beginners, first-time pilots, people who always dreamed of flying but never thought they could, this helicopter was built for them. The Skycraft Scout represents the democratization of vertical flight. Helicopters are no longer locked behind wealth or exclusivity. They're finally within reach. Helicopters aren't billionaire toys anymore. In 2026, ultralight machines are rewriting aviation, cheaper, safer, and more accessible than ever. Whether it's weekend flying or true ownership freedom, the sky isn't distant anymore. So what do you think? Which one would you fly?